try it out. Try it out and see. Don't take my word for it. Try it out. I tell people, if you believe in saints, ask the saint for something, a rose or something so that and they get it, and they call me up and they're like, I received it. I said, well, you sound shocked. Why wouldn't you receive it? They send you things because they want you to know that they're real.
Yeah.
Just as Jesus,
I tell people, if you learn that lesson, you get it out of there, then you go on to the next one, which may or may not be better. You don't know, but
That's
at least
right.
you're going on to something
and
else.
And then when you finally learned every lesson you came here to learn, then you'll pass over.
And then you don't have to come back anymore if you've learned everything.
Exactly. So there should really be a celebration of a passing because that person has graduated. Because this is almost like elementary school.
Oh, it is. It's kindergarten in a lot of ways.
Exactly. And we just, we graduate and we go to the next level, and then we learn in that level and we graduate, and we keep growing. There's no stoppage of growth.
And it's just like we eventually end up in college, and even then we let it go on. To me, learning and knowledge is so important.
Oh, God. Knowledge is the best thing. And, I always try to tell people, with different things that came out, like the Da Vinci Code came out and all this, and people say things, that this, that, and everything. I said, listen, if you're bothered by something, then try to look it up, try to learn from it, try to investigate it. Because Jesus always says, when something pushes your button, investigate it.
Yeah.
Look into it. See why you're bothered by it. So if it bothers you, look, seek out the answers for it, because that's what you're meant to do.
That's what I tell people. I said, don't believe what I say or what anybody else says. I said, ask lots and lots of questions, read a lot of things, then make up your own mind.
Absolutely, because
and
even though
your truth may not be my truth, but it will be something that you've arrived at on your own.
Right. I'm glad you said that.
Don't give your power away to anyone.
Right.
Make up your own mind.
Because I'm glad you said that, Dolores, because that's very important. Even though I am a medium and I can give people answers, I have to let them make their own choices.
Yes, otherwise we can't. We take away free will.
That's right. Because say they come to me and they are pregnant and they say to me, well, should I have the baby or should I have an abortion? Well, I'm not going to make your mind up for you. Because
that's a bigger responsibility to put on you anyway.
Exactly. They have to make their mind up for themselves. I said, because that's not my place to tell you to do it. Then they'll say, well, you told me to do it. You have to.
Yeah, it'll come back on you. That's what they'll say.
Yeah. You have to go inside yourself. It's so simple. It's so easy. You meditate. Go into, be quiet, sit still, and listen. Because meditation is listening.
They say prayer is asking the questions.
Exactly.
Meditation is listening for the answers.
Right. And everybody can do it. Every single person can do it. But they doubt it. And once you throw doubt into anything, then you can lose that. So they shouldn't doubt it, because everybody has the ability to do this. They just and if they can't meditate on their own, go buy a tape in the bookstore and put a tape on, and listen to the tape.
But then, like you said too, ask for some kind of a sign, and they'll get that.
Exactly, and they'll get the sign, because I've asked for it several times, and I've gotten the sign all the time. And I know it to be true, because I question myself all the time. Because doing readings for people is a hard job, because you have a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And like one woman came in, and I do a lot of work with Edgar Casey, and I think maybe the viewers, the listeners will know who Edgar Casey is. He, was a psychic in the 20s and 30s and 40s.
Yeah, and he was the ARE was founded on his writings.
Yes,
I think
sessions. Like 14,000 readings, and mostly on health.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a doctor, and he came through one day, and he's been with me ever since. So he answers all the health questions on the people.
Oh,
and this one lady came one day, and before she even sat in the chair, he turns around to me and says to me, well, she needs a hysterectomy, and she needs her bladder repaired, and she needs her rectum repaired. And I said to him, but wait a second. I said, I can't tell this woman to go have surgery. And he said, yes, she can. She needs it.
Huh.
And I'm like, I'm fighting with him, you know, which I always do. And I think I'm probably the only person that fights with spirit. And so finally I said to her, you know, I have to tell you this. And I told her, and she said, oh, yeah, I know. I've been putting it off for 10 years.
10 years?
10 years. And all three things. She left his house in the afternoon, went back home, called her doctor, and made the appointment for having the operation. And she had it done. And and that's where the scary part comes in, because, you know, you have to be so careful in that, you know, you don't overstep your bounds.
Yeah,
you know,
would make someone angry too, you know.
Right. But he came through so clearly, and he said, this is what she needs. And then I had one reading that scared the living daylights out of me, I tell you, because in the very beginning, not in the very beginning, about 10 years ago, I'm able to hear the people on the other side. I can smell them. I can see them. I can feel the way they passed over. And that's the scary part. This one person came in, and his name was Michael. And I don't allow spirits from the other side to touch me. Because when they touch me, I feel the way they die.
Oh.
And it goes into my body, and I actually feel it. So he got close enough to me and touched me, and I grabbed my neck with my two hands, and I took like what I thought was like that last gulp of breath before you pass away.
Yeah.
And I literally could feel almost liquid coming out of my neck. And the sitter was the sister. And she's crying already. And I said, oh, my God, what is going on here? And she said, my brother, who you got, Michael was his name. He came through. I knew it right away. She said he was murdered. His neck was sliced.
Oh.
But I felt the neck being cut, and I literally felt almost liquid coming out of my neck.
Ooh. And
I had said to Michael, I said, did you have to do that to me? I said, couldn't you just tell me? And then, like 2 minutes later, his other brother comes through, and he was happy. He was really, really happy. And I said, oh, yeah, the other brother's here, and he's gay. You know, meaning gay as in happy. And she said, yeah, he was gay. And she meant gay as in sexual.
Yeah.
But that's the way he showed it to me. And then another one came through. The sister came through. They had 4 siblings, and all 3 passed away. She was the only one alive. And she had passed away from an overdose. But they came through in different parts of the room. And I said, wow, this is so funny. I said, they're all over the place. Why aren't they together? And she said they never talked in real life.
Oh.
So what they did was they brought their hatred to the other side.
That's not good.
And so they did not talk to each other on the earth plane. They did not forgive each other on the earth plane. They took it with them to the next level. So you see, now they have to work it out on the next level.
Or they'll have to come back again.
Or they'll have to come back again.
In different roles or whatever.
Right. And that's why we talk about forgiveness. He was the one, Michael was the one, the person that passed over that taught me about the forgiveness part of life, because he wished that he did forgive them before he left the earth plane, because it would have been easier for him. Now, there was this other reading I did one time that this one scared me too, because this man came through. I had the woman here, she was the daughter, and this man came through who was the father. And all of a sudden, I'm watching him from, my third eye, and I see him take a scissor out, and he cut off his tongue.
Wow.
And I'm saying to myself, and I'm sitting there saying, don't do that. What are you doing? Don't do that. And I'm like, oh, my God. And so the lady's sitting there going, what's going on? And I'm like, I can't believe it. I said, your father just cut his tongue out. And she says to me, yeah, well, my father was abusive to me verbally.
Ah.
So
it
I said,
was symbolism?
Yeah, it was similar, but he was actually punishing himself.
Ah.
Because he didn't forgive himself, and nor did his daughter forgive him up until that day.
But it was symbolism of what he had done, really.
Exactly. It was symbolism, but then also he said to me, I'm doing this because I punished her in her life. Now I'm going to punish myself too. And I said, well, you don't have to. You don't have to punish yourself. You didn't have to go this far. All you have to do is forgive each other.
Yeah.
So, of course, obviously, we had these type of people come back. Like, I don't like to do them but once a year because then I feel like it's too much for them, and then they depend on it.
Oh, so, yeah, people do. They get to want you to solve all their problems.
And so she came back, and we work on forgiving. We work on forgiving the father. And I've seen them turn into snakes, turn into different things because of the symbolism.
Yeah, the symbolism, and usually the person you're reading for will understand what the symbolism means.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this woman did understand what the cutting of the tongue was.
Yeah.
Because he his karma was truly immense. And he had a lot to work on. I mean, and that was just one part of a lot of stuff that he had to work on. Because
I dread to think what he's going to have to go through when he comes back.
A lot.
Well, Joanne, I have to stop 5 minutes before the hour. Before we go off, people always say, boy, that was a fast hour.
That is a fast hour.
But before we leave, let people know how they can get in touch with you, or if you have a website, anything that they can communicate with you.
Well, I have an email if people want to email me. That's wolflady@AOL.com. Wolflady as in one word. Or
like the animal, WOLF, isn't it?
Yes.
Wolflady.
At AOL.com.
Okay. Then they want to contact you or get a hold of you.
They could call me at my home phone number if you want me to give that out.
Well, if you're willing to.
Sure, that would be fine.
Okay, go ahead and give it out.
Okay. It's area code 516-420-8767. And I just want to tell people to be patient because I get a lot of phone calls every day, and that if they leave a message, I will get back to them.
Okay, say the number again.
Okay, area code 516-420-8767.
Okay. And a lot of people don't want to give out their home phones, but you do this regularly, so you don't mind.
Oh, I do it all the time, and I get lots of phone calls. Like I said, there's I have a long waiting list, but I will get back to them, and I could read on from the phone. So even if they're in a distance, I could do it over the phone.
Okay. Then I just want to give out my website and number, and then I have to sign off.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for being on.
Oh, thank you, Dolores. I had a great time.
Okay, and my website is www.ozarkmountain, and that's abbreviated, OZARKMT.com. And the number is 1-800-935-0045. 1-800-935-0045. All right, and good night till next time.
Good night, Dolores. Good night, everyone.
You have been listening to BBS Radio, a blogandservice.com production and a service to others endeavor. Thank you very much for tuning into our radio program, and we wish you much peace and joy on your journey.